What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 6 of The Rundown.
I'm Will,
I'm Sam.
and let's get right into it.
Today we have a much more chill and casual episode because we're going to be going a lot more off script and off notes because kind of just going to talk about a bunch of games that we like and kind of like what got us started into gaming in the first place and why we like it.
I mean, yeah, for me, the first game I really played a lot of was Tony Hawk on the N64, because that was the only console that we had around the house at the time, and I was probably like 8 when I started playing that. And that really got me into console gaming a lot because I started playing the Wii when we got the Wii. I feel like every
I feel like
household,
everyone has a
household
Wii.
had the Wii when it came out.
Yeah.
I think Wii Sports is like still one of the best selling games of all time.
It is. I mean, when the Wii came out, it was just like everybody got it. Pretty
Mhm.
much, it was just like a household console.
Yeah.
I mean, that was how it was marketed. But
And then from the Wii, I also got an Xbox, and that's when I got into Halo, big time. And I fell in love with the Halo campaign, and the story and the lore behind it.
yeah, I think a lot of people probably got into Halo
Yeah.
when they were younger and like played it a lot. And for me, I think I've played Halo 3 or like one of the Halos at someone's
Mhm.
house, or like whenever I went over to a family friend's house, we would like just play a lot of Halo multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like I myself didn't really get into Halo. I got into Call of Duty, which is like, the rival series, I
Yeah.
guess, like the other.
They both.
I mean, they're both really similar.
I think they both pioneered the FPS genre
basically
a lot.
it's early game, just like crazy multiplayer fun and like good single player campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think for me, I mean, like the Black Ops series and like Modern Warfare series are like, I think, best Call of Duty games to me, and also some of the best games, my favorite games still.
Mhm.
And I think kind of similar. I can like remember a lot of times where I would like my brother would be like playing online with his friends or something, and I would like end up joining and not know what I'm doing, obviously, because I was like, I don't know, like 10, 11, trying to like use a controller, but I just remember just things like that, and it's like really fun.
Yeah, I remember coming home from school every day. I remember I got the I got an Xbox, and I got the Master Chief Collection. Which is like the pack of all the Halo games. I would come home from school every day, and I would play like the next campaign mission.
Yeah,
For
I used to do that
whatever
too.
game I was
all
on.
the CODs, yeah.
Yeah, that was so much fun. And then after I beat all the games, I started playing the multiplayer, and that's where I think my love for multiplayer
Yeah.
games
I
started.
mean, I don't know if I'm like imagining it or if I'm like what's it called, like changing the story, but I feel like I remember one of my like earliest memories is that like I was playing a game with my brother's friends, and it was like just me and one of his friends left or something, and I think I like just randomly pushed around controls and ended up like killing them and like winning the round or something, and like everyone went insane. I feel like I remember that happening, but I don't remember.
Things like that are so much fun. It's so much
Yeah.
hype. Like I love the energy that multiplayer games
Exactly,
give.
like the environment. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, for all I know, I'm making that up and I'm just remembering wrong because I was like, again, like 10 or 11, but
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to play so much Halo 4 multiplayer, and that's considered like a bad game by now.
Kind of, yeah.
But yeah, from that I started getting into multiplayer games, and I got Titanfall 2. And Titanfall 2 was like huge on multiplayer.
Yeah. I've
Yeah,
heard about
like
it
the
a
whole
lot.
game is pretty much
Yeah.
multiplayer. And I played a lot of Titanfall 2. I think that's where I really got into competitive multiplayer gaming.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about Titanfall 2. It's like a movement shooter, right? It's like heavily
Yeah, it's
focused on like
really focused on movement,
having
and
really good movement and
Mhm.
like just like being smooth at like all the things you do, I think.
it was like one of the first games. I think Titanfall was one of the first games to implement like an advanced movement system like that,
Yeah.
because for a long time it was kind of like Quake and Halo and
Yeah.
stuff where it's just kind of walking around shooting. But Titanfall really pioneered that subgenre of
Yeah, I think I've seen like
shooters.
some clips, and it's like crazy.
Yeah,
the
how do you
things
move like that? Yeah,
I know there's like a grappling hook or something. It's like
Mhm.
one of the most like best abilities in the game, just because of like how vital it is to like movement or something.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess before like before I started like playing games, even
Mhm.
a lot. Remember I used to watch my brother play a lot of like Wii games and Nintendo games
Mhm.
and things like Mario Galaxy. He used to play like Paper Mario for like GameCube and like a bunch of other like just really popular Nintendo games.
Mhm.
And I just remember like watching and like being what's it called, like mesmerized by like what I'm seeing basically on the screen, because like Mario Galaxy is like considered one of the best games of all time. And like yeah, my like 9-year-old self agreed.
I have such fond memories of Mario Galaxy because it was one of those games where like my whole family got into it kind of. Which sounds kind of stupid, but like if there was ever a level that one of us couldn't beat, like we would give it to someone else and have them beat it.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. So I remember like I was pretty good at like the like low gravity parts or something.
Okay. Yeah.
And then like my sister was good at catching the bunny or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. I like, I don't know. I feel like games can bring people together
Yeah.
a lot.
I mean, I think Mario Galaxy is just like one of like the best. I mean, yeah, it's one of the best games made ever because of like the amazing soundtrack. Like, it has some of the most like iconic like themes for levels ever. And then you got like, and it also just like the designs and everything.
It was so unique.
Yeah,
to other Mario
it was
games.
super unique. The concept itself was also like super unique, I feel like. And then just like has like the Nintendo charm, because Nintendo was like at their peak, and they were like making some of the best games of all time during that time, I think. Like, yeah.
I mean, I love the level design in that game because I don't really like the 2D platforming Mario type thing, like the Mario Bros. But I liked the 3D aspect of Mario Galaxy.
I think Mario Galaxy was. Oh wait, no, it was the third 3D Mario game, right? I think
there was Mario 64. I think it was the first one.
Mario Sunshine.
And Mario Sunshine.
And then I think it was Mario Galaxy.
Yeah. I've never played Mario Sunshine.
I've played a bit, and I've watched like.
Yeah, I know it's like really popular.
Yes, it's another one of those super popular games.
I think that those 3D Mario games are so much more interesting than the 2D ones.
Yeah, I agree. I think.
Just because the level design is so much more varied, and
yeah,
you can do so much more with that third dimension. You know,
I mean that's why they were like super popular when they came out, because of like how unique they were. I mean,
right.
And I think like, I mean, next major game I can think of that I played a lot of was something that we both played, you know, and we've talked about already, Overwatch.
Overwatch was the first game Oh, that's not true, actually. I was going to say first game I no-lifed, but that's not true at all.
It is. What's the other one? Warframe?
Warframe, yeah.
Okay.
Warframe and Trove were
Oh, yeah, Trove.
so many hours poured into nothingness.
But yeah, I think I think Overwatch was one of like the first paid games that I got, and I didn't even get it. Like I had to like, I think my cousin was like offering to buy me a gift or something, because I was like begging for a game that cost money for once, because I could only do free to play games. Yeah. And then he like bought it for me through some like complicated process, because he was like buying it from China. And then like I was like so, what's it called, like excited when I finally got to play it, because like it was like one of my first paid games. It's just like and like you imagine all the different like things that are gonna be in a game that's like, you know, cost like $40 or something when it came out.
Yeah, Overwatch was the first like multiplayer PC game I played, because I played Warframe, but that doesn't really count.
Yeah, no,
it's not the same at all. And I still have way more time in Overwatch than any other game.
I don't know if it's the most hours, but I've a lot of hours.
Probably twice as much time in Overwatch as the next game I played the most of, which is sad.
I mean, yeah, because that was like all of middle school probably, and until now still.
Yeah, I still play Overwatch.
Yeah, we still play. It's still fun.
It's
we talked about it.
It hasn't
already.
lost its
we talked
its
about
charm. I think that the core gameplay is still there, and it was such a cool and unique idea when it came out.
Yeah.
I mean, it was standing on the shoulders of giants, kind of, with the building off Team Fortress 2.
Team Fortress 2, yeah. But still, like,
it still revolutionized
it was like a groundbreaking game when it came out.
The hero shooter idea.
Yeah.
And since then, so many hero shooters have come out. Yeah. Trying to like mimic the same feel, but I don't think anyone's done it as good as Overwatch has, or as well as Overwatch is.
And I mean, yeah, we've talked about Overwatch a lot already, and like Overwatch 2 and everything coming out and all that. So I guess there's not too much to talk about, but it was just
Let's just touch on it again. I think
just one of the first games that we both played a lot of, and
I think that's how we kind of.
I mean, yeah,
got to know each other.
One of the reasons, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Overwatch, yeah, that's where I first really met you and started talking to you.
I think, yeah.
because we both played in middle school.
And also like other people, a bunch of other people.
Yeah,
too,
a bunch
that
of
we,
a
like,
lot
met.
of our friends that we know
I
now.
feel like I feel like a lot of us met because of like
because of Overwatch. Yeah,
games in general, but like more specifically like Overwatch.
that's crazy. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
Like the group that we hang out with today is mostly
Overwatch.
from Overwatch. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
You want to move on or talk
I
about
guess,
Overwatch
like,
2?
I mean, we've talked about Overwatch 2 quite a
Mhm.
bit already, and like the beta closed, I think, like
Yesterday or something?
yesterday or something. Yeah. And I mean, we've said what we thought already. They didn't change too much throughout the beta. They like changed some balance issues with like different heroes, but I mean, yeah.
I've heard the next wave of the beta, because they're gonna be.
I think it's pretty
doing-
soon. It's like June.
It's in June, yeah.
Yeah.
And I heard that they're supposed to be making some bigger changes.
Yeah,
like
I heard that too.
Adding a lot more content,
Yeah.
because I think they've been working behind the scenes and they didn't want to release all of it too
I
much.
hope so. Yeah.
Fingers crossed
I
that
hope
was
so.
the case.
Now
because-
all the daytime maps
are
change nighttime throughout the throughout the game. There's a daytime nighttime cycle now. Go crazy! Oh my god!
Oh my gosh, it wasn't
Imagine.
like that wasn't already in the game before.
Imagine if they did that. Just pull out a time cycle for the maps. It's like new content. But
No, I think I'm pretty sure they'll release at least one new hero.
I've heard, that there's like a lot more coming
Yeah.
in June.
So yeah, I'm excited for that. And I hope that they don't disappoint again.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Um,
And I mean, I'm trying to remember. I feel like I obviously play a bunch of games,
Mhm.
but like the next game that I think the next game that I spent a lot of time on and kind of like really dedicated trying to get good in was Rainbow Six Siege.
I remember, yeah, a whole lot of you guys got into Rainbow for
I
a long
think
time.
a few of us did, and I think it was like the only thing we played for a while.
Mhm.
Because I remember, I'm pretty sure I like just like grinded nonstop trying to get good at the game
Mhm.
because it's like a really knowledge based game
Yeah.
and like kind of like
It's not like a lot of other shooters.
yeah, because it's a much more slow paced tactical
feel
shooter
like-
on average in general.
Yeah, I feel like a game like Valorant or Apex is really based on like aim.
Yeah,
and being
yeah.
able to track and flick well and stuff.
A lot
but
more.
Rainbow is a lot more like, are you smarter than the
Yeah, I
other
feel like
player?
Rainbow is a
You
game.
can outsmart them a lot better.
I think at least that Rainbow is a lot more like you can win without aims. You can
Mhm.
just like be really.
You can have
smart
pretty average
with
aim
your, like,
and-
approach
and climb very high.
You just need to like, because like the game is designed is like it's like you're attacking from like any angle almost. So like it's designed to be a lot more
Like defenders have to
free.
be ready for anything.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
I
But
think
they're obviously slightly at the advantage because they know where they're defending.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a game that I played a lot, and I think like got to Plat 2 or something, Plat 3.
Which
Like,
for the time was really good.
I mean it was like one of the first games that I got quite good at,
Mhm.
I'd say. And then like I think so at least. Maybe I got a lot better at Overwatch before that, but like I think those two, Overwatch and Rainbow Six, were like two of the games that I like first started playing a lot of and
Yeah.
kind of trying to actually like focus on trying to get good in.
I think at that time Plat and Rainbow was way more
I
impressive
think
than Diamond and Overwatch.
probably. Yeah, I got both.
Yeah. Kind of crazy. No.
Kind of crazy, you know why?
I never got into Rainbow too much. I mean, I still have a decent number of hours in that game just because like you guys played it a lot.
I mean, yeah.
Um,
You didn't play.
I did not play Rainbow very much at all.
You just didn't really play.
But yeah, I think that game kind of has the hero shooters aspect of Overwatch a
Yeah.
little bit.
I mean, do you know why you didn't like it? Because I feel like you just didn't like it.
It was really slow for me, and
fair enough.
the learning curve, like I didn't know the maps,
Okay, yeah. That's
and
the thing.
if you didn't know, I feel like if you didn't know every angle or every gun or every character,
Yeah,
you
that's
were
what I
at
meant earlier.
you were at a huge
'Cause I said it was, like,
disadvantage.
it's a much more like knowledge based game.
Mm-hmm.
Because like if I play now, I'm like super garbage. Like I am probably bottom ranked
Yeah, like
'cause I don't remember anything.
Yeah, I think that knowledge is a super important part of that game.
So much of the game is like learning how to push certain places
and what
like,
angles to hold where.
Yeah, like just like where you should be and like where you should like hold and where you should aim and everything.
And I've seen crazy clips from that game where it's like people just predict where someone else is going to be and shoot through a wall.
It's like looks like it's like intuition or something, but
Yeah.
it's like they know.
It's just game,
it's
it's
just
game
like
knowledge. Yeah.
yeah, it's just like patterns that a lot of people like do. Like, oh, people usually push from here, so I'm gonna hold here, and it's like, how did you know? It's like experience.
Yeah, it's all experience, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, it also is just like aim
Mhm.
and practicing to getting used to the system, like the aim system in that game. But yeah,
Speaking of aim, Doom is such a good game.
I've
And-
tried Doom.
Doom. Did you play Eternal?
Eternal. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got it and tried it. I didn't really like it.
You didn't like Doom?
I don't really like Doom.
That's a shame. I love Doom. And I mean, Doom was like one of the first FPS games, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Original
like,
Doom,
like
yeah.
the original Doom. And yeah, I think everyone probably played Doom back then. Like,
Probably, yeah.
my dad was saying that Doom was like everywhere, and he was not into computers or anything at all, but he played Doom a lot.
I don't know if it was. I feel like I remember someone telling a story of how like when their dad was in college, they had like a floppy disk or something
That
with
was-
Doom on it.
That was me. Yeah, when my dad was in college, he said that his roommate wanted to play Doom with him, but like the file was too big.
Yeah, yeah.
Or something. So they went to go to the library computers or something. And they needed space. Like all the computers,
Oh, they like deleted everything.
all the computers were connected,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
for
yeah.
for the hard drive or
I
whatever.
remember that now. Yeah.
And they didn't have enough space, so he deleted every file on
Yeah, yeah, I remember you telling
on
me
all
that.
the computers
Just
so
to
that-
play
just to play
Doom.
like an hour of Doom and then leave.
That is worth it.
But yeah, I think that shows how much interest people had in playing
I mean,
Doom.
I guess, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Doom 2016 kind of redefined the genre because they put out a lot of trash Doom games in a row. I mean, there's Doom and there's Doom 2, and they're pretty much the same. Those were like the old school ones. And they put out like one or two ones that were not at all.
I mean, I don't even know about those. Like
Yeah,
that kind of shows how like
exactly.
obscure
They were obscure and very poorly made.
Yeah, I feel like the only Doom I know about is like the new ones, like the remakes.
Yeah, Doom 3 was like a completely different thing and not very successful. But Doom 2016 reinvented like how they thought they were going to do it.
Wait, so there's 2016 and there's Eternal.
And there's Eternal.
Okay.
Yeah, so Eternal came out in like
Pretty recently, I
20
think. Probably like
2020.
yeah, around 2 years ago.
And I love that game to bits. And they leaned into like the heavy metal,
Oh
like
yeah, that I know about.
killing
yeah.
demons aspect of the game.
The
so much
soundtrack. I
more.
feel like we've talked about the soundtrack.
Yeah,
how
the
it's
soundtrack-
just heavy metal.
It is. I saw some interview and they were like, a lot of games feel like, okay, we have the game, now we need to make a soundtrack for the game. And Doom was like, okay, we have the soundtrack,
Oh,
let's
okay,
make
I
the
see,
game
I
around
see.
it.
Okay, yeah. I think that fits. Yeah.
Because the game has such heavy metal playing the whole time while you're ripping
Yeah,
demons
yeah.
apart, and it's so satisfying and fun to play. I think the level design in that game too. It's so replayable because all there's so many different
Yeah.
kinds of demons, and each one kind of has its own unique thing. Like there's the Arachnotron, which has like a turret on its back that you have to shoot before you kill it.
Okay.
And then
Oh
there's-
yeah. Okay, I remember that one.
and there's like the Tyrant, which is like just a giant bullet sponge, and you kind of have to focus it because it'll mess you up if you don't. And
Yeah.
then, I don't know. There's a bunch of ones like that where you have to do certain things, and they all have their own weaknesses. And there's a whole lot of different ways that they can throw the different enemies at you that makes every encounter unique.
Yeah. And
That's another movement shooter.
oh yeah, true. That yeah. It's another like super fast paced like
Mhm.
non-stop moving and shooting like
Yes.
game.
Yeah. There's never like any calm moments.
There's no downtime. Yeah.
In Doom. Yeah, you're constantly clearing rooms and moving on to the next one.
Yeah. Okay, so you talk about Doom. I feel like I can't talk about games I played without talking about League of Legends, because I know most people hate the game, including people that play the game. Yeah, I hate it too. But at the same time, like
League is like an addiction.
I think I genuinely do like the game. I think
Mhm.
as a whole, because like like we've talked about this before too, how it's like a super high learning curve again, and how like once you like until you like get to the point where you know what every character does, you're gonna like always end up surprised and like
Annoyed by
annoyed because you're surprised because you end up dying or something. And yeah, but I end up like what's it called? playing it a lot,
Mm-hmm.
even and like still wanting to like keep learning. And then like I got past the point where like you get to the top, I guess like the top of the learning curve or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or, like you're past that point where you can start actually enjoying the game.
Yeah.
Because I'm like way past that point probably now where like I can actually like really enjoy the game because of the fact that
And
like
you know what's going on.
I know what's happening
Mhm.
a lot. And I mean, I'm not too high ranked or anything, like I'm plat again, but I'm probably at the point where I can like,
You're better than the majority of players.
yeah, and I can probably I can like play any character at least pretty well.
Mhm.
And once you get to that point, like the game gets a lot more fun, I think,
Yeah.
because
I know.
it's just like a lot more satisfying to play.
I gave League a shot for a long time.
Yeah.
I tried to enjoy it.
Periods of like playing
Yeah.
nonstop.
Exactly. I had a few League periods of my life.
It's addicting. It
but
is.
yeah, I could never get past that frustration that I felt when I died to some
It's
some
definitely-
character and I didn't know like, oh, they can do that. Well,
Yeah, and it's just like, yeah, you can.
mhm.
It's stupid. It is.
Yeah.
You have to play around it by just knowing the fact that you can do it.
Mm-hmm. But right when I stopped, I felt like I started to learn
Probably, yeah.
a little bit more. Like I started knowing what the actual goal was and kind of like,
Yeah.
oh, well, I guess I shouldn't be here because I'm messing up this other person.
Yeah, a lot of League is like, what's it called? This knowing what choice to make, like where you should be and like what you should do. And a lot of that is like experience. Like we've talked about this too.
Mhm.
And like, you know, the issue of how like everyone starts yelling at you when you don't do well because they like, don't believe that there's a new player or something.
Yeah, that was the problem with Smurf when we were talking about the other
Yeah.
episode, where like no one believes that there are new players.
Yeah, a
And it
lot of
kind
this
of
stuff happens, but
Creates a toxic environment for anyone who's trying to get into it.
yeah, and also like, I mean, yeah, we've talked about how like League is like one of the most infamous games for toxicity and everything.
Mhm.
And yeah, I definitely see it every game. It's
Mm-hmm.
super frustrating, especially if you play the role that I do, which kind of like the entire team relies on, but also the role itself relies on the entire team.
Mhm.
But
You play jungle, right?
exactly.
Which means that you're constantly
Okay,
trying
yeah.
to help.
I wasn't gonna go specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to help every other person,
Mhm.
but every other person also like influences me.
Mhm. Like everyone else's decisions can mess you up.
Exactly.
Like if
But
they,
my decision can mess everyone else up.
Mhm.
It's like the most I think it's the most frustrating role in the game. But like,
I think jungle's probably the hardest role in the game too.
that's I maybe depends on who you ask. Every single role will have people saying it's the hardest, but
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, they're all hard in their own way.
I think jungle you have to like balance and juggle a lot of things at once, and like
I mean,
You
I mean,
got-
yeah, I'm gonna agree. I'm biased.
Yeah,
I play
I-
jungle.
jungle confuses me the most.
I think it
Um,
is. I think it's the most confusing role to
Yes.
get started.
As a newer player, I get the most confused.
I think it's
by
yeah,
jungle.
it's definitely the most confusing because it's the most like not straightforward kind of.
Every other role I kind of understand how to play.
Because
Um,
jungle is just like you do whatever. You like you have the whole map to like move around in,
Mhm.
and
I feel like
I mean yeah,
for me the most straightforward one is probably top. Top seems so straightforward to me. Like you're just going and pushing minions. And
I mean yeah. Some
Um,
people are probably mad listening to that,
yeah.
but
sorry.
yeah.
But yeah.
I mean yeah, I like League.
League
And
is-
I like MOBAs a lot in general because I've also played like what's it called, Heroes of the Storm. I think we've both played that a little bit.
Yeah, I played that
Didn't
to
like it
get
that
like
much,
my
but
to get my Overwatch loot boxes. Or
exactly.
something.
I played it just for Overwatch content.
But yeah, I think MOBAs have something really unique to offer.
What was the MOBA first like third person shooter MOBA that was
Smite or Paragon?
Paragon, that one. I looked at gameplay for that again, and like that is something that interests me a lot.
It
I
was
feel
a
like
super ambitious game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that is something I feel like I would play a lot because it's a MOBA and also like a shooter, and I like both.
It never really got the attention I think it deserved.
I think yeah.
And didn't really have a great what's the word I'm looking for? Producer behind
Okay.
it. And I think that's why it kind of fell apart.
I mean, but I
Um,
think we mentioned this, but like how it's like getting picked up again or something.
Yeah,
by
so
people
yeah,
'Cause they,
I
like,
mentioned
put
this
out
last
the-
episode, I think.
put
but
out the source code or something.
yeah, the developers stopped working on it and canceled the game, but they released all the assets.
Yeah, yeah,
So people could remake the game from scratch if they wanted.
yeah. I mean, I guess that's maybe like an upcoming game.
Mhm.
And
I forget what it's rebranded to.
I don't remember.
Yeah, but okay, we can talk about the next game and topic.
I mean, What do we play a lot next? Probably battle royales, because I think when did the battle royale trend like?
That was when Fortnite came out in like 2018.
I think it was like when we were in 8th grade.
2018. Yeah, we were in 8th grade.
I think we were in 8th grade when like the battle royale hype trend kind of like came up.
Late 8th grade, early 9th grade.
I think so, yeah. Because like Fortnite became like the thing to play.
Yeah, I remember when Fortnite came out, and like that was like I remember playing season 1, and like a bunch of people like started playing it.
Yeah.
And then it died off a little bit.
I remember. I feel like we've had this conversation how like it became like, okay, the quote unquote the norm, because like it's still made like obviously it's still made fun of by people that don't play games, but like a bunch of people that usually don't play any games at all even like started playing Fortnite because it was like
we did.
It was like the thing to do.
Yeah, it was like such a trend.
Exactly.
And I think like so many people that didn't play any games were suddenly posting like Instagram stories of them like, oh, look at this win I got.
Everyone just started playing Fortnite
because it became like the cool thing to do.
Yeah, quote unquote the cool thing. Because depends on what you ask, obviously, still, but like
but at the time I think it was like it just exploded.
Yeah, I mean, and we played
a lot of Fortnite.
A lot of Fortnite when
early on. I think
I think it was season 2 or season 3.
I stopped playing around season 3.
I think it was. I think we mostly just played a lot for like 2 seasons.
I played a lot season 1 and 2.
I think we started season 2. I don't think we played season 1 that much.
I played some season 1 with some people I knew.
I think I might have kind of played season 1, but is season 2 John Wick skin?
That might be. I think so.
I think it's season 2 because I think season
Tilted
1
Towers.
Yeah. Oh god, it's all coming back. But
forgot about all that.
Okay, yeah, I think season 2 I played a lot because it was like the first battle royale I got into, and in season 3 I started playing less, and then like died pretty quickly after that.
I mean, around season 2, which was like late 2018, maybe early 2019. That's when people started to see the success of Fortnite.
Yeah, I mean that was like when it was peaking.
Yeah, a lot of games jumped on the back of that. Like, you remember Realm Royale?
Oh yeah.
Like Realm Royale and what are some other ones?
And we've talked about this last time too, like battle royale games.
Battle royale games.
PUBG came before Fortnite, but like you know, wasn't actually no. PUBG was super popular too, but it wasn't like
it didn't have that widespread.
Yeah, it didn't have like mainstream popularity like Fortnite did, which is kind of weird because I think PUBG was
like among people who were already playing games. PUBG was really
probably
famous.
That's why. Yeah,
and then Fortnite just really reached every audience. In the world, like literally.
I mean, we liked Apex Legends a lot more, which is like another battle royale.
Remember when that
we mentioned?
When did that come out? 2019.
I
think it came out 2019.
Probably around that. Yeah, I think that. I mean, that game I like a lot.
I remember when that game first came out, and like that was when Fortnite was still at its peak popularity, pretty much.
And it was like rival.
And it came out, and everybody jumped on Apex so quickly because it was something new. I remember. I think Apex still has the highest watch count on Twitch.
Maybe.
Like all time.
I'm not sure about that.
Like for a category, because like it came out. Was it in beta? Did it release?
I don't.
Did
remember.
We play in beta?
I don't remember at all.
I don't remember either. But I remember like it blew up on Twitch like the first week it was out, and then immediately like went away.
I feel like that's like that was a lot of games that came out during the battle royale like trend. Because it was just like viral games. It was like a new idea for a battle royale game comes out, and like all the top streamers start playing or something, and it gets super popular, and it just dies within like a few days.
Yeah, but I think Apex
stuck
around.
It's one of the. It's probably still one of the most popular. Yeah. Probably. Actually, I don't know about Warzone. That was like Call of Duty's battle royale. I don't know if Warzone is still popular, but
I think Warzone is still.
I think
popular.
It is, right? Yeah.
But I haven't played in a while.
I mean, we haven't played.
I forgot about
like
Warzone.
It that much. Yeah. I think Apex is like the only battle royale I liked a lot.
Apex, I think, has found the perfect spot for me.
I mean, because it's in like the Titanfall universe, right, or something.
Yeah. So, Respawn Entertainment kind of scrapped Titanfall 3 and started.
Okay.
When they realized that Fortnite was more popular, and they started work on Apex Legends.
So I know that like the weapons in Apex are like Titanfall weapons. Or
they're all
Titanfall
also, weapons.
There's a lot of like the story of Apex, like you know the lore.
Predator thing that was like a clan.
Okay.
In Titanfall lore.
But yeah, I was gonna say also just like because Titanfall 2 was super focused on like what's it called, like mobility
Mobility and
movement
like
everything. I think Apex also has
fast-paced
that.
shooter. Yeah.
Apex is also a lot has a lot of focus on like movement and like everything.
Mhm. And one thing I think that's so much fun in Apex is that the time to kill is so high.
Yeah.
In games like Valorant, like you will die
Oh,
so
okay,
quickly.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
you'll
I know what you
engage
mean.
with in a fight and someone
I
will
mean, I
die
think that's probably battle
in the first
royales.
second.
A lot of battle royales in general, like you don't die instantly because
Yeah,
unless it's
exactly.
like, I don't know, headshot of a sniper.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, Apex is like you can have a really drawn out long
yeah,
fight.
fights are a lot
Like
more like satisfying.
an engagement
Yeah,
could
yeah, yeah.
last like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean
Before
that's
you
why
move
there's
on
a
to the
meme
next
of
one.
like, third party can't
Mhm.
have a single fight without like
Without someone else coming
a bunch
to,
of other teams joining in and making everything chaotic. But yeah,
because yeah, Apex especially is really bad with that because of how fast you can get around.
yeah.
Um, Apex, like yeah, you can get around the map really really quickly in that game.
Yeah, I mean,
So anyone hears a gunshot
oh
and
no,
the
they're both
the whole map in like a
server is
20
coming
mile
over.
radius is coming over to the
Yeah.
gunshot.
But yeah, that fast paced gameplay I think is something I really liked.
And there's a lot of outplay potential too.
Yeah, I mean that's why I didn't like Fortnite, because I mean I've ranted about this before.
Mhm.
I hate the concept of building so much.
Yeah.
Part of it is because I'm just salty because I'm bad because I can't build.
Just mad because bad. But
Exactly. But also I just hate the fact that the playstyle is like a stray bullet hits the ground next to you. You build like Taj Mahal in 2 seconds just to like try to protect yourself. I hate that so much.
But yeah, I mean, it was a unique idea though.
It definitely was unique, and it definitely like
I think
what's
that
it called, made sense for the game to have it. Like I'm
Yeah.
not like it's not a bad feature.
like you don't have to. Apex is like way more kind of you have to be
Yeah.
able to move.
I just
well
prefer
and track
to have
well
that
and
more. Yeah, I
have better
prefer to
aim.
have a game that's more focused on like movement and aim because I think that's more skillful than
Mhm.
spinning your mouse in a circle, holding left click, building walls, and then like.
Yeah, I think
I mean, yeah, there's
the
still
building is
skill
way
in
more
building.
practice.
There is a lot more,
Yeah.
but I think building is a lot more muscle memory and
Mhm.
practice, and I hate it so much because, again, I've ranted about this so many times.
I feel like you can play Fortnite like not that much and get really really good at
Yeah, yeah.
building.
And
like,
also
pretty
just like
quickly.
you can be really good at Fortnite because you're good at building, not because you're good at like anything else.
Yeah.
Like you could be like literally so many times I've said this. Like someone has absolutely no idea how to aim or shoot, and they can't hit you when you're right next to them, but they can literally build like
They'll like trap you.
they can build a tower in like 2 seconds.
Mhm.
And it's like, yeah, it annoys me so much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, Apex was really fun. We got into that
Yeah.
a lot, and that was
I mean,
another.
I think
that
it's
was
still
another
fun.
one.
I still want to play.
That was another one where it's I think it kind of built off of Overwatch.
Kind of,
with the hero shooter.
Yeah.
And every character in that game has their whole unique play style and
Yeah.
abilities, and everyone plays different.
I think that was like another like really good feature of Apex. Yeah.
Mhm.
All the different characters and playstyles. And I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think what else we really played a lot of. I think we got into I at least got into Minecraft pretty late.
I got into Minecraft very late.
Yeah, because I think I only got Minecraft like sophomore year or something.
Oh, you were really late to the
Yeah,
party.
like
Okay.
in high school sometime I got Minecraft. Like I used to I watched a lot of
Mhm.
Minecraft, like especially as a kid, like Minecraft YouTube, all the memes. Like I was one of them.
Yeah.
One of the people that watched a lot of it.
I used to play like creative mode a lot.
Yeah.
That was like the only thing I ever really did. And then I played survival for the first time freshman year. That was like the first time I played survival Minecraft, and I fell in love with it so quickly.
I mean, I think I have memories of like every summer when I would go to China and I like live with my like cousins. I remember like one of them had Minecraft,
Mhm.
and I played that. I played like on his computer a lot.
Mhm.
And it was like only single. I think it was like a pirated version or something, so it only had single player. But I played that a lot.
Mhm. And
But-
I mean, since then, our group has like kind of had a tradition of starting a Minecraft world every summer.
I mean, yeah, it's the best, like one of the best selling games of all time, and like one of the most popular and like most played games of all time for a reason,
Yeah.
because of like how much it like forms a community kind of feel.
Yeah.
and everything.
It's very, very, it's a super low barrier of entry, and the
Yeah,
learning curve is very low.
It's just a super fun game and super
Yes.
like calm.
Mhm.
generally.
It's very chill and it's very easy to play. But it can also be really rewarding and
Yeah.
fun. Like when you build something that's cool.
I mean, yeah, we've talked about this last time too. I mean,
Mhm.
or like in a previous episode, how it's like, open world sandbox, and how like it's just you can do whatever you want. That's like the whole point. The whole concept of the game is you can do whatever you want. And like
Mhm.
when you play with a group of friends in that kind of environments, it can be like really fun.
So many other games are so objective based,
Yeah.
and like, oh, it tells you you have to go do this before you can do that, and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
But
Minecraft has objective, I guess, as like,
Mhm.
you know,
it has
beat
goals
the
for
game,
you,
like
but
kill the
like,
final boss, but
but it doesn't give you any
you
help
don't have to
or
do
like,
it. Yeah.
it just leaves you to do your own
It's
thing.
literally just do whatever. And I mean, like we also talked about how like the game constantly gets like, you know, updates for free.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially, you know, the recent one, 1.18, I think, or whatever.
Yeah, one
Like that was, I mean,
I think
that was crazy. Like the caves and cliffs.
Yeah,
and
I
everything.
think I don't know which one I liked more. I liked the Nether update a lot.
Oh
I thought
yeah,
that-
yeah. I know what you mean.
because
That was also really good.
yeah, so I think the two biggest updates they've done since like very early on were the Nether update, which was 1.16,
I don't remember which one, but I think those two were like the biggest.
and then 1.18 was the most recent one, and that's completely overhauled most of the game.
Yeah. It's just
Um,
things like this, how like the game constantly gets like a lot of content for free still. Like, it's, I, mean,
I think that's
we talked
just-
about this too. How
yeah.
like you can tell like the developers still like
Are super devoted.
devoted and like do it for the community.
And they're constantly getting new, like people are buying Minecraft every day.
I mean, yeah, and
Like,
like
they're
you know,
getting new
there's
players.
the pretty recent. I mean, it's probably like a year ago now or something. Like surge in Minecraft popularity on like
Yeah,
the
that
internet,
was, like,
YouTube, everything again.
2020
Because,
or something.
you know, one random guy, but yeah,
I mean, yeah, there's Dream and Minecraft on YouTube like took off really quickly, and
Yeah.
PewDiePie too.
oh yeah, because PewDiePie also
started playing again.
Played it again.
I
mean, yeah,
think
just show
that
like,
that like reminded everyone.
it's
how
like a
much
game
fun
that
it
doesn't
is.
die. Yeah,
Mhm.
like everyone like remembers how fun it is and starts playing it again. And like the people that are a lot younger get into it and start playing it
Yeah.
for the first time.
And they're like,
and,
oh, what is this?
everyone likes
And
it.
then- mhm.
It's one of those games. I think a lot of games that I played a lot of are like, you know, that genre of like calm and chill and just
Mhm.
like collaborative and like
I like those. That's my favorite genre of game.
I think
It's
yeah, it's
like-
one of
Chill co-op games that are like casual.
because those are called things like Satisfactory, Factorial, like you know the factory games we've talked about before.
Yeah.
How like those are some of the games that I probably also have like the most hours in.
Satisfactory is like one of my favorite games of all time.
I think yeah,
It's-
Satisfactory.
It can be as like stressful as you want it to be because
It's just so fun.
the
like-
enemies are like really scary
Oh.
in that game.
I mean,
Like
yeah,
like going to explore the world is kind of stressful.
it can be kind of stressful. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's more just because I hate spiders and that's like one of the main enemies of the
Yeah.
game.
But then at the same time you can just focus on building your factory and connecting different resource hubs.
Yeah, I mean we've talked about this too. How it's like factory games. You know, it's just about like automation and efficiency.
Mhm.
I think it's like super. It can be mindless, but at the same time, it's like super.
You have to kind of
fun.
think about it and plan ahead.
It's really fun to like design super big like projects.
Yeah.
That are like maximum efficiency or something, and you just see it end up coming. Also, because I think Satisfactory has like some of the best like what's it called like art like designs,
Mhm.
like style art. Okay, art style's not like the right word, but
The
it's just,
game
like,
looks really
like
good.
there's a lot of like detail
Mhm.
and like all the factory machines and everything. And, like everything looks like it's coming to life basically.
And like the assemblers and all the machines that put
Yeah,
the
that's
put the
what I
parts
mean, basically.
together.
Yeah, like
It, like you can see it, the things being put together.
yeah,
and
like
it's really
I mean,
cool.
it's the same animation every time, but still, it's like
Mhm.
a really nice detail. It
Yeah.
just like feels like there's a lot of life in the game, especially like when you like connect what's it called like a super large area
Mhm.
of full of like a bunch of machines. Like you connect it to your main power for the first time, and everything turns on. It's like
Mhm.
so
Oh,
satisfying. Yeah,
And I think the progression in that game is one of the best like
I think
games.
so. Yeah.
I think a lot of games either give you too much all at once. Like Minecraft just dumps you and doesn't really tell you
Yeah,
anything.
okay, yeah. That's like kind of a
Um,
fault, I guess. But
Mhm. But I think Satisfactory gives you just enough at every step of the way that you're like learning the whole time.
yeah, you start learning how to be more organized and
Mhm.
start learning how to be like more
So like
efficient.
it only
everything.
gives you a few machines to start off with, and then once you like produce some items and send them off, then you can make like the next couple of machines, and then so on and so forth. And by the end, you're learned how to use a bunch of different machines and know what each one does.
Yeah. And I think that's the same thing with like Factorial.
Yeah,
Why it's so
Factorio
fun.
too.
And also, I mean, Factorial I think is more fun because of like modding and like the whole like community around modding and everything.
Because
it can be
there,
so
there are no
crazy.
mods for Satisfactory.
I
I
don't
mean,
think
there
so.
are, but
I mean, it's like I think it's a lot. It's a really like
it's harder to mod it.
it's just the mods are usually just like quality of life changes.
Mhm.
They like just make playing the base game easier.
Mhm.
But
But Factorio, like
Factorio has,
their
like,
overhaul
Crazy mods. I mean,
Yeah.
we've played like a bunch of the super crazy ones.
is the space like a mod? That's a mod, right?
That's a mod, I
When
think.
you get the
I
space.
think so. Things like
That's
that.
crazy
Yeah.
because that adds
Yeah.
like that adds double the content to the game, pretty much.
Probably more, honestly. But yeah. And I mean, like, another like super chill game that we play a lot of
Mhm.
is, like Stardew Valley. That's
I
a
love-
game that is super
I got that
Fun.
game very recently, and
it's so fun.
I'm
It's so
addicted.
easy to like get lost in
Mhm.
that game.
and you can just like kind of space out and mindlessly play it,
Yeah.
and it's so relaxing.
And it's just
it's very
it's super
it's very
relaxing.
therapeutic.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those. It's because it's meant to be chill and
Mhm.
meant to be like calming.
Yeah.
Same thing with like a game like Animal Crossing, which is like what I played more of than Stardew Valley so far. Probably gonna end up playing Stardew Valley more, but
I mean, yeah, Stardew is like, and it's so good for like as an RPG. Like you're just like sitting there,
Okay,
like
yeah.
like the role play aspect.
yeah. I mean, again, everything we've said this too. Like every game is RPG. at
Yeah,
this
every
point,
game is
but
RPG, but like I don't know, you can like kind of get into your world. And,
Yeah,
like, you
yeah,
get to
yeah.
make your own farm in Stardew, and you kind of get to like customize what it looks
Yeah,
like.
it's another
and,
like
and how you lay
sandbox
it
game
out.
kind of.
But then there's also like a whole cast of NPCs.
There's like a whole like a bunch of characters.
There's a bunch of
unique
characters that you
for
can get to
meet, yeah.
know, and like
You can actually like feel the community.
yeah, and you
in the
can
game.
you can become better friends with some of them, and like unlock more dialogue.
Yeah,
and-
it's just like super
yeah,
super calming.
yeah.
And like you said, therapeutic. I mean, that's why I like Animal Crossing a lot too, because
Mhm.
I played Animal Crossing New Leaf, which was for 3DS, and then New Horizons came out. I think it's like one of the best selling Nintendo Switch games of all time or something, and it like got super popular. And like, yeah, there's a reason.
Yeah, because
it's
it's
another one of those
super
games that's like
calming.
super charming and super like
Mhm.
yeah calming. You can tell like for like all of these games that like a lot of care from the developers is put into it,
Yeah.
and it's like made for people to enjoy.
Yeah, I think charm was a good word.
Yeah.
'Cause those games do have a lot of charm to them.
Yeah.
And then I guess another game would be kind of like co-op games.
I think co-op games are super fun in general, because I know there's like co-op puzzle game series, a bunch of co-op puzzle game
Yeah,
series,
what is
like
that called?
A Way Out.
Way Out. Wait, We Were Here.
Oh, We Were Here. We Were Here.
That was another good one.
Wrong one. We Were Here is like a super popular co-op puzzle game,
Mhm.
and then A Way Out I think was one of the first co-op
Story
driven,
Yeah. It was like
games. Yeah.
you're playing with another person, but you're also just like kind of watching a movie together.
Yeah, it's another one of those games.
It's a very cinematic experience.
Yeah, and it's like I like the story. I
Mhm.
like the gameplay. Like everything about it was really fun.
Yeah.
And then It Takes Two, I think, is a more recent co-op game.
Which kind of has its own spin on co-op.
Kind of, yeah. But I think that game was like also nominated for a bunch of awards and stuff and got super popular.
Mhm.
Again, for good reason. Because it was made by EA, I think, who is kind of infamous for putting out soulless games and like kind of
Mhm.
just going for like money grabs.
Mhm.
But It Takes Two was kind of like the complete opposite, because like for one, you only needed one copy of the game, because as long as one person had it, there was like a friend pass where basically it's like you can just download that and play with the friend for free.
Mhm.
So like you can tell like, oh, like it actually is meant to be like a really fun experience for two people. It's not meant to be like a money grab,
Yeah.
because they would have just charged for two copies of the game if that was the case. And then like the game just has a lot of charm, and again, like all these games that I like a lot, I think in general, are just like you can tell that developers kind of like put
Care
a lot
about
of effort and like time into everything. Yeah.
I think you can see that especially with going back to Stardew, the NPCs in Stardew.
Yeah.
Like everyone has their own personality.
There's like no throwaway character almost.
Exactly. And it's a super unique and diverse cast.
Yeah.
And everyone has their own personality and their own motives and goals.
And the game is, for Stardew, the game is still getting updated.
Mhm.
It's still getting like a lot of content.
But yeah, these co-op games I think are really fun and kind of just there to solve puzzles and stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, that's like, I think that's a theme with like a lot of games that I like. It's just
Mhm.
like calm and what's it called? Like maybe like puzzle based or like exploration focused.
mhm.
I mean, there's like exceptions to that, like League. Nothing about League is calm. So
Yeah.
like overall, nothing about that is calm. But things like Breath of the Wild. That's like another game that I like. I like a lot,
Yeah, that was a really really fun game.
and that
Came out 2016. Pretty
came
sure.
out pretty a long time. It came out when the Switch came out,
I think it was 2016.
or it came out I think like before the Switch came. No, it was when the Switch came out, I think. And I mean, again, that's like one of those popular games of all time for good reason. Because like the huge, massive world and all the like mysteries surrounding the world. Because there's like a lot of, when you first play, there's a lot of things that you can see in the distance, and like you wonder
Yeah,
what's
like,
there.
oh, what's that volcano in the background?
Yeah, there's like a
What's-
volcano. There's like a giant ice mountain.
And what's that
You wonder what's
castle?
on the top, and there's like you can see like a glowing light in the distance sometimes, and things like that. A lot of
And-
mysteries.
And you can go everywhere that you can see. Pretty
Yeah.
much.
The game is huge.
Which I thought was so cool because I figured so many games are like, oh, there's things in the distance, but you can't actually go there.
Yeah,
And it's like, oh, it's out of bounds or
for
something.
Breath of the Wild, it was like if you see something, you can go there.
That was such a breath of fresh
And
air.
they're like there's just
no
like
pun intended.
there's just so many like secrets throughout the world and everything.
Mhm.
And I mean, I think it was like the first Zelda game I played that I liked
Yeah,
a lot. Because other Zelda games I kind of just like watched and didn't really like playing, but
that was my introduction to the Zelda
kind of
franchise.
I'd say same.
But
And,
yeah, I thought that was such a cool game, and the combat is so much fun in that game too.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many layers to that game. There's like you can cook, you can fight goblins.
Yeah, you can do like so many things. It's like so many genres put together to make this one like masterpiece of a game.
Mhm.
I mean, like we've kind of talked about this, but also like how like you can play the game super casually and still enjoy it. And then there's like the speed running part, and also just like people that focus a lot more on perfecting everything.
Mhm.
And like there's the ability to do that too. Like we've talked about the speed runs for the game and how like they're super crazy with
Yeah.
like all the things they do. But then you got like me on the other side who like didn't even really learn the basic combat, like what's it called, controls. I kind of just like
I was there for the story.
yeah, I just kind of like BS'd my way through fighting and like everything.
Yeah, I thought that game was so much fun.
You're supposed to be a lot more like methodical, I think, because there's like counters and there's like you can do like backflips and dodges and like jump away and everything. I just like spammed attack.
Yeah,
and it worked.
Me too.
But
Me too. But yeah, I think that game is. I was so interested in the world, and I explored so much in that game. Like I saw every corner of the world possible, probably. And then I was also so invested in the story because it's had so much soul to it. I think.
Yeah. Again.
The story had so much soul, and it was kind of like I was watching a movie the whole time.
Yeah, and I mean Breath of the Wild 2 is hopefully coming out soon, but
I'm looking forward to that for sure. And then another kind of RPG game that's not as chill or lighthearted as Breath of the Wild would be.
I mean Dark Souls.
The Dark Souls
It's like
franchise.
one of those famous and infamous game series ever.
Dark Souls 3, I've spent so much time on that game.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we've talked about a lot of these games, but like Dark Souls, how they like kind of created its own genre, of a type of game, like super challenging and meant to frustrate you.
Yeah.
And make you want to like feel rewarded when you finally complete something. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that Dark Souls the Souls franchise, I should say, has never been known for like their advanced graphics or anything like that. But
I mean, that's kind of why I didn't like the
yeah,
game when I played, because I tried Dark Souls.
it doesn't look fantastic
I didn't
or anything.
like Dark Souls 3. To me, it felt outdated, kind of because of how it looked mostly.
But I think that where they lack in the graphics, they make up for in their design.
Yeah, I think that if I played more of the game, I definitely would have liked it.
It has such unique designs for enemies and characters, and it's like, how did someone even think of this?
Yeah.
It's like I'm not gonna say that, but like a tree with giant egg sacs hanging from it, and a dog with
It's
a
just
sword
so
in its
many, like,
mouth, and it's like
it's just so creative of like its monstrosities and like all of its
all of its
like,
enemies.
Elden Ring, which again we've talked about a lot of, but like it's like probably like the most popular game out right now, like one of the best games made in at least like the decade, honestly, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
And like it had like George R.R. Martin, the like author of Game of Thrones, I think, like on it. And again, like the designs for all its like bosses and enemies and areas.
Was he part of the development team?
Yeah, he helped, I think.
Oh, I didn't know
George
that.
R.R. Martin like helped create the game.
That's cool.
I think that's why like a lot of again like a lot of the enemies are so creative
Mhm.
and everything. Like the designs for, like I mentioned, the areas, the weapons, the like bosses, everything. And I mean, I think I like Elden Ring a lot more than Dark Souls
Mhm.
3 at least when I first played, because of like the open world aspect. But I think that if I was to like try Dark Souls 3 again now, I would like it a lot, especially since Elden Ring is probably one of my favorite games of all time.
Mhm. I mean, yeah, Miyazaki, who's the guy who
Yeah.
it was like the came up with the whole Dark Souls genre. He has been doing this for so long. He's been doing it for his whole life.
I mean, yeah.
And okay, I'm kind of going off a tangent here. But you know Berserk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talk about Berserk.
I'm gonna talk about Berserk a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, Berserk is a popular manga.
Manga, yeah.
Um,
I think it's considered one of the most like beautiful mangas ever.
Yeah.
With its art and everything.
But it's also like really horrifying sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
And it made its own, much like Dark Souls did, it made its own genre kind of like the dark fantasy.
Yeah.
Where it sets up in like this fantastical world with all these beasts and stuff, but is a very morbid story.
It's like
and
super raw. It's
really
like not afraid.
Really disturbing and very real.
Yeah.
And I know that Dark Souls and Demon Souls and the whole franchise has taken huge inspiration from Berserk specifically. And they've left little Easter eggs in their games, like the Great Sword weapon in the Souls games is the main character's weapon in Berserk.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
But yeah, they've just like left little homages to where they've come from, which I think is so cool.
That is really cool, yeah. I mean,
any other games that you wanted to like touch on?
I think that's mostly it. I think those are probably like main games that have played a lot of.
Yeah, I think those are the games that we both got into a lot.
Yeah, because I mean, I've played a lot of other games, but like not as much, not like to the point of these.
Mm-hmm. I think these were all the main ones.
That, I mean, there are still other ones that I've played a lot of, but
these are the ones that had the biggest impact on me.
I could like go on forever talking about like all the
Me
games
too.
that I've played a lot of and liked a lot and have like impacted me.
Yeah, I had a list for this episode of games I want to talk about,
like,
but it was way too long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's just so much to talk about for gaming.
I
think that's why gaming is just like so, what's it called?
Such a broad genre.
It's so broad. That's why it's so valuable. I mean, because I mean, it's like any other, what's it called? Like
gaming has something for everyone.
It's like any other form of media, really. You know, like films, music, and like art, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it's another form of art, another form of entertainment, but like it's, what's it called? You can like interact with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
video games.
Yeah, there's a lot of value in that.
Video games are, they're like, some of them are like kind of a movie that you're in, like you're kind of the main character in the movie, and I don't know, it gives a completely different feeling from a lot of other media.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was pretty much it.
I think that's it. Yeah.
So I guess we'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for
tuning in.
Thanks
for watching.